Brothers and sisters, it's so exciting to be back with you once again on Resofrik FM for the rare breed. I am Oluwatoyin Ojeyomi, the one you know as Papa T, welcoming you to yet another interesting episode of All These Things, where we talk about all things and everything, as long as they have positive impact on each and every one of us. Today on All These Things, we'll be talking about living beyond one talent, a case study of Tuwan Spencer and poetry. You see me stretching my hand. I have this thing crawling across the screen of my laptop, and I'm like, is it inside the screen or in the camera? But I got rid of it. Never mind. So I have with me today someone I consider very, very special, Tuwan Spencer. In the community, this guy typifies wisdom. It typifies experience. It typifies sacrifice, altruism. And when you talk about colors, he's an embodiment of colors. I mean, I couldn't get him to stand up before this show. Otherwise, you would see his pants. And then I'm like, how I wish this was my size. I'm going to take it from him. Yeah.
We'll get you some.
But who knows? My wife can make adjustments to it. We have a machine at home. So we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
In the community, Tuwan Spencer is someone who gives. He gives. He gives. And within the short time that I know this gentleman, I have seen him as a man who is truly a gift to humanity. He came into the studio with my co-host today. And of course, you all know Penelope Hoyett. Hey, Penelope.
Hey.
You all know Penelope Hoyett. She's like the one who balances me with Mary Louise Tatum. And by the way, we miss Mary today.
You, Mary.
Shout out, Mary.
Shout out to the glue Trey. He says, yo, hey, yo,
What's up,
yo,
Trey?
yo, Trey, what's up, Trey? What's up, Trey? Trey in the house. So Penelope brought Tuwan, and from the first time I saw this gentleman, there's a contrast between his frame, which is huge. I mean, compared to mine. But balancing or contrasting his frame is an expression of humility. One of the first few people that came into my studio and was like, is there a way I can help? Is there a way I can support? He's not obligated to do that. And hey, this is property. I pay attention to things. When you're a leader and new people come into your space, you pay attention. So today, the rock star on the show is Tuwan Spencer. If you're on Facebook and anytime you're joining us, please feel free to share this. Even during or after the show, feel free to share this video. We'll actually appreciate. So a couple of weeks ago, Tuwan Spencer came on Cleveland Poetry in Black and White. And the poem that he read on that day was one amongst many that he just brought out. And it was like, should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? But the life of creatives, while we're talking about it, I had a lot of ideas on how we could get it done. Fast forward to like 1 hour. Hey, Lauren, how are you? How are you, Lauren?
Hey,
Drop us a comment.
What's going on, Lauren?
Drop us a Saturday greeting comment if you see us. Hey, Lauren, how is Psyche doing? Give us updates in the comment section. So Tuwan did this video, and many of us who watched the video, during the post-production and afterwards, haven't recovered from it. In the video called Young Black Boy, Tuwan addresses the spirit of the young black boy. And beyond the young black boy, we saw someone talking to every black boy, every black man, because you're going to listen to the poem, you're going to watch the video, and it's probably going to open the show today. We're going to play it in the middle, and it's going to round off on the show, except Tuwan himself has something else he wants to read. But remember, you can always call at 216-490-0011. The phone line is active. It's on the screen if you're joining us. Hello, Timbuktu. It's nice to have you on the show. If you're joining us and you're able to type, say what's up, say hello. If the audio is good, let us know. If the visual is good, let us know. So today on the show is this rock star, Tuwan Spencer. Tuwan, it's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And I want to say that, I admire the way you're popping here in music, you're popping here in, uh, you know, public speaking, you're popping here in social service. And a friend of mine asked me, does he ever sleep? And last night, I was really, really tired and I had to put together the post for today. It was the last minute thing. And I woke up and I was like, I slept around midnight. And I woke up and I saw Tuwan had done a series of new things with the little that I did. And I'm like, is this guy a human? We got to check him. We probably have an alien amongst us. So we're still going to talk about that. And when I was thinking about what title to put in, I was like, we're discussing this poem today. But how about we put it like living beyond one talent? Because this is the man who represents the community of people who express almost every bit of talent they've been divinely given. I'm coming to that. Penelope, it's nice to have you on the show again.
Glad to be here.
I would never leave you because I found someone that excites me.
You know what's best for you, Papa T. I'm not worried.
Yeah, that's my girl right there. That's my girl right there. That's my girl right there. So, Penelope, you'd agree with me that Tuwan is a gift to any space he finds himself. There are some people that when you meet them, you sense that it's about what they can get. Tuwan gets into a space and the first question is, what can I give? And people like that, if they can be cloned, we need many of them, especially in a world where humanity has gone cold and selfish. You want to say a special welcome to Tuwan? You're my co-host today, as always, when Mary's not here.
Sure. Welcome, Mrs. Spencer, to Resofrik FM. We're glad to have you. As Papa T has already spoken so eloquently about you, you're definitely a man with many talents. And you're definitely always looking to give and add value. To the point of what he said, it is a rarity, but we are the rare breeds here at Resofrik FM. So for me, you were family. When you and I first met, it was like, oh, okay, this guy's a little different. Let me see what's going on. Because you activated my creativity, discernment, as well as I was like, oh, there's some other things going on here. But it's been a pleasure meeting you, spending this time with you, having you here with us, and just being able to partake in all of the gifts that you have and that you so freely give.
Tuwan, let's get things rolling here. The first question I have for you is the expression, the unfolding of who you are in many parts. How did it begin? How did it start? What's the story? Like we all grow when we get to that moment where we begin to realize or discover ourselves in terms of this is who I am.
Yeah.
What got you to the point of self-discovery? What was the experience? What's the background? In other words, what's your story?
I think to answer the question directly, I would say brokenness. Yeah, like when you was talking, that's what it. I think it's real easy to get on platforms and to start speaking about, oh, I always knew. You have inklings of what you can do. One of my biggest things is it's one thing to have the idea, it's another thing to execute.
Right.
What prompted me into execution was brokenness. Even when everybody talks about all the things I do, a side note, thank you for saying all the amazing things y'all said. But one of the things, I'm just being who I was looking for when I was a young man. That's it. Like, so when I'm doing this stuff, I get it. It's impactful. It helped different people. But when I was a young boy, I looked for men that cared about me and they didn't have a reason to. These aren't my fathers. These aren't my brother. These are just people. And unfortunately, in different communities, they don't practice that openly. So when I go do outreach, my mentality is I used to be 17 and I had a lot of things running through my mind, but I just wanted somebody to be there and to create that space. That's what happened. When it comes to music or art, that was my escape in my youth. You know, if you just got done burying a friend because something happened to them, and then you get the opportunity to express it in a way where it's safe. That's what music is for me. Every song, every poem, it's a deeper expression of where I already sit. So brokenness, and I would tell anybody listening, let that be the thing that motivates you. You know, adversity is definitely a resource. So that would be the thing. I went through stuff. I went through all my shares of adversity, 17, went to correctional facility as a young man, not even a bad kid, just a hurt one, you know? And so for me, it's just my responsibility to show people what you can do with hurt, but also to show that there's humanity in that. You know, I do a lot of stuff and people say a lot of great things. But I'm just a man who took brokenness and decided to do something positive with it. And hopefully I make other people feel the same.
I know Penelope and Tuwan, I know you guys have your own level of friendship, and I know you talk. Mm-hmm. But I would want Penelope also to use this opportunity to ask some questions that she's probably never asked him. And it's always a point of curiosity. Mm-hmm. You know, don't ask him how many girlfriends.
Whoa!
right. Don't ask him that, because I know Tuwan. I know Tuwan a little bit now. He will want to speak the truth. Yeah. What if he says, "Well, I'm just trying to cope with the few I have"? Like 12.
Yeah, come on, Papa T.
Whoa! Okay, Pete, don't ask no question.
Don't you ask that
on this episode? We'll save that for later. We'll save that one for later.
Matter of fact, if she asks the question, if she's about to ask the question, look at my hand. I know how to.
Okay, all right, I'm ready to see. I'm glad you're here, man. You just I feel so safe. Thank you.
So, Penelope, yeah.
Okay. Let's see here, Mr. Spencer.
Yes, ma'am.
Oftentimes when I hear you on these type of platforms, and you know, I've done my research, your response is that your goal today is to be the man that you were looking for, and that you were looking for care, consideration, love, security, all of the things from men who were not your blood family. Mm-hmm. What exactly does that mean for you?
Great question. So first, shout out to my family. Love them. But now I'm at a point where I love me enough to know that some of how I was treated wasn't cool, you know? So I want to shout out them for teaching me in their presence and in their absence a bunch of different lessons. I say that more so just to kind of pivot a little bit. Like, so the best example I can give is when I was in late teenage years in Buffalo, New York, I decided to be affiliated with Rolling 60 Crips in Buffalo, New York. And when people hear that stuff, oh, he was a gangbanger. He did all this other stuff. And for me, it was family.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of misfits that fit somewhere. Mm-hmm. And one of the most beautiful things that I remember about that particular group is everybody in that set had a talent that could have took them to 1,000 different places. There were amazing rappers, poets, singers, dancers. There were critical thinkers. There were leaders, but everybody was hurt. They were hurt in such a way that they had become unproductive in the things that they did. They had become lost in those spaces. So when I say be the man that I was looking for, and I reference brokenness, I'm truly focusing on that point of that's where a lot of us get lost. It don't even got to just be about young men. It could be a young girl looking for guidance from an older woman, but not knowing how to take the parts of her that's hurting. Mm-hmm. So what people try to do is present the best versions. In my family, there was a high, just like a lot of young Black men, there's a high expectation of excellence, provision, direction. But where do you go to get that direction if you've never experienced it yourself? Mm-hmm. This wasn't because I didn't know powerful and successful men. I got family members that's owning multiple properties, that's doing amazing things, but they couldn't give me something that they hadn't experienced.
Right.
If they never loved from a safe and vulnerable space, how was they going to give it to me? It doesn't change the fact that I needed it. Mm-hmm. So when I carry that, be who you were looking for, I mean that in the deepest most innermost, most shadow work spaces, not something surface. Everybody knows how to work. Everybody knows how to have something. I'm saying the parts of you that you felt that because of your circumstances and situations, you couldn't walk in. I'm trying to target that in people. I attribute that. I attribute that to a lot of the success that I've had, the ability to connect with people on the deepest levels. So I'm doing this song.
Hello, this is Resofrik FM.
Call it.
Hello, this is Resofrik FM. Are you trying to contribute to the show?
Yeah, I have a question for Tuwan.
Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good happy Saturday, good everything. What's your name?
I'm just a regular fan. I'm just watching.
Okay, that's good. We have
regular fan.
We have Timbuktu who says loud and clear. We just wanted to know first if the audio is clear and it's good. Okay, yes, please. Mystery caller, we're glad to have you. Please go ahead.
I wanted to ask Tuwan, how does he walk in his purpose and be so great and yet not make people around him feel less of themselves? How does he walk in his purpose and feel great and also make the people around him feel great?
Thanks for the question, mystery caller. It's crazy because you sound like this guy know, but we're gonna continue to let you be mystery.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. Let's let him be mystery caller.
Let's let him be mysterious.
I would say, yeah, it's just vulnerability for me. It's never about being anything else. And then I think your heart posture and anything you do is important, right? Like, I'm not here to add to any other dilemmas that somebody might be having. Now, that don't mean we're going to see eye to eye on everything, but my posture and everything I do is like you said, when I first came in here, how can I help? Like, that's me. That's not a version that I'm pretending to be. This is me. How can I help? You know, if I'm big enough to move it, I will. If I got enough emotional understanding, then I'll talk to you about it. And the other thing I will say, even though vulnerability has gained me this skill set, I will tell young leaders or anybody that's managing their personal lives, you also are not responsible to get people to walk and believe in that that's who you are as well. That was real important to me. I was trying to get people to see, hey, I know all the things I've done, but I'm really a good guy. And that people pleasing, that space can be very dangerous. So I would say be authentically you, and just do your best, man. But when I deal with people, man, I hug you before I talk to you. That's the students, that's the people that I'm working with. That could be the person that I'm about to do business with. If I sense that that's what's needed, I'm gonna be that. And then I also understand what I look like too. So I'm not just this is a large black guy that's willing to give you a hug and pray with you and cry with you if that's necessary too. And again, this is because this is who I was looking for. So a lot of times when people talk to me, they're like, they sense themselves in me in the way that I deal with them, because it's real. It's real, it's vulnerable, and it's honest.
You know, I deduced from what this caller said that this is someone who has encountered you many times. This is someone who knows you. It takes someone who knows you, who has had an experience of you, to ask a question like this. Like, how do you relate with people with your imposing status and everything without making them feel less of themselves? This is someone who has encountered you, who has felt you, who has studied you, who has observed you, and who has that personal question. Like, maybe you've dealt with that person in the same way. I might be wrong. And the person saw something about you, like, regardless how well placed he is or who he is, he's still respectful of the status of other people. So, mysterious caller, I mean that is what I deduced. I'm speaking from a mysterious perspective too. I hope we're meeting at the same spot.
No, you're hitting on the line, but that's just something I wanted to ask him, for him to answer out in public, because he carries himself at such great high esteem, and I just wanted to know, how does he, cordially respect other people when they know that they see him as great. Just making sure, I want to know how he,
can I be
changes
honest?
his posture. Or...
Yeah. Can I be honest? I think so. And I really feel like I got to say this because there might be somebody watching who might be feeling the same way. I think part of it is allowing yourself to be that for somebody too. And I don't hide who, like, I was just having a conversation with somebody and I said the younger version of me would have the hardest time listening to who I am today, even though he needs to hear it. So even though I try to be who I was looking for, I understand that there's barriers and there's walls that make that difficult, that make that a hard thing. So even hearing the words that's being said, and I appreciate that. Being able to sit through a compliment has probably been one of the hardest things for me. I don't live in them. I'm not looking for them, and I'm definitely not used to them. But I've learned a lot of what I am to people from being able to sit through that. So I would tell the person that's listening that's maybe struggling with that. Oftentimes we wonder how we're perceived. Well, when God put people in your life that speak to you, they're giving you a blueprint for that. A lot of times people spoke to my greatness before I realized it. And I was just telling somebody, that's God giving you hints. It's just up to you to listen to him. So, yeah, just walking that, man. Vulnerability has just helped me in a lot of spaces.
So we've got a gift for you on the show. You know the gift always. Penelope, can you tell him? It's not money. I always tell him. It ain't money.
Yes. Thank you, Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, we got something for you on the show as always, which is the tradition on Resofrik FM. And Mysterious Caller, if you still want to stick around. After that, we're going to ask a few more questions and then we throw in the video of little young black boy, and we're going to talk about that, analyze it, tell the story around it. But in the meantime, Penelope, you want to tell him what we do on the show?
Yes, we highlight a song that is for you in this moment from us at Resofrik FM to you.
Yes, and this song is from an artist from Nigeria. She's a gospel, soul, jazz artist, Afrocentric. She has this song called Something More. And in the song, she says, we all need something more. And this song comes in handy at a time like this when we have someone like Tuwan in the studios. So, Tuwan, this is a song from Temi Oyedele from Nigeria. And here it is. And that's Something More, the music of Timi Oyedele, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. We dedicate that song.
And that's
Something More, the music of Timi Oyedele. Oh, yes. I have this audio coming from multiple sources. Yeah. Tuwan, that's a song curated specifically and directed for you, because most of the things you're saying, at the core, says we all need something more. You have one talent, and then you identify another. You want to see how you can explore, how you can give it. In other words, intentionally or otherwise, we all need something more. We want something more. I mean, even if it's money, you want something more. So that is our gift to you on the show today, and I hope you liked it.
Thank you, man. I love that. I need that. You guys saying that to me.
Good. Yeah, I can. Now, you talked about brokenness. Let's go back to that.
Okay.
What do you mean? Before we do that, I want to acknowledge Tiara.
Hey, Tiara. What's going on?
Tiara, it's nice to have you here. And Stoop Kid Soul, you just joined. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Oh, what's up, Soul?
Sassy Jesse B. Sassy Jesse B. It's nice to have you here. Thanks, you guys, for joining us. And if you can still hear us, I'd like to say at whatever time you can hear us on this show, share the video. We are hanging out here with Tuwan Spencer, and we're discussing living beyond one talent. Tuwan Spencer today and poetry.
Yep.
So, talking about brokenness, what do you mean when you talk about brokenness? Did something break you? Were you broken?
Yeah.
Did you break something? Or did you and something break each other? What do you mean by that?
All of those. Every last one of those. All of them. I would say this, like even from the perspective of brokenness, here's something to pay attention to. A lot of these, the cycles that come with brokenness, right? They end up repeating because of how we view them. Your perspective is key to unlocking so many different things. So even when you say did something happen to you, did you happen to somebody else? One of the most amazing skill sets that I've developed in this journey is to allow myself to be the villain sometimes when necessary in my stories. Sometimes it's my fault. Sometimes somebody didn't do, whether it's a trauma that I'm working through, whether it's a thing that I said that I probably shouldn't have.
Right.
There's a responsibility on my end to walk in the most fullest, most appropriate version of myself.
Right.
Now that don't look like perfection, but it looks like vulnerability. It looks like honesty. It looks like empathy. It looks like all of these things that allow you to basically connect with people better. So when I talk about brokenness, it's everything that's getting you away from the peace of yourself. It's everything that's getting you away from that. It's the mentalities that you get older and you say, man, this just don't suit me. It's the stuff that keep you up at night that you can't deal with. It's the stuff that you love, but you realize don't love you back. It's those things, and being able to say, hey, that's not good for me, and to start that process of trying to change it. So anybody watching, allow yourself to be the villain in those situations when appropriate. A lot of times we like to be the victim or the hero. And those are beautiful things. They sound amazing when you say them out loud, but the victim was mistreated. So they don't have to change.
Right.
The hero saved the day. So if in every situation, this is the only way you describe yourself, you'll be the same person. And what you'll realize is even though you're saying you saved the day, you still feel empty. There's still this thing in you that hasn't went anywhere. I just kind of fell in love with the process of saying, man, maybe if you do better with you, you'll be able to see a better reality. So all these gifts are expressions of that. I am responsible for me. I can't say something like I'm made in God's image and then walk around like he made a mistake. Right? So you got to be able to kind of pick that point. But that's what I meant when I talked to that brokenness.
So as it pertains to brokenness, let's couple that with purpose.
Okay.
And then let's also add in your speaking and mentoring. How has your story either fulfilled you in purpose or not? Like, you speak to that. Where do you sit? What space do you take up in purpose as it pertains to all of the many gifts that you have?
I think one of the things that I had to focus on as it pertains to purpose and what I was doing, And what I am doing is just kind of understanding, even with the brokenness, is that all kind of lead to the setup for that. I'm a big fan of not just result, but process. I love doing the work. And because I love doing this work, and because I see how it benefits other people, that's when I became aware of, oh man, you feel good doing this and it's impacting the world positively. That's your purpose. I tell people, when you're looking for something that feels good, not just because it satisfies you on the most basic level. I'm talking about when you do this thing, it's almost like you forget about everything else. Yeah. It's almost like everything else doesn't matter. And I've learned how to operate in that space. And then what I did is look at how it was impacting the world. Because when it comes to your individual purposes, you won't just have something that just edifies you. Right. You will impact other people in your purpose. And when I started to look at kids being freed, I started to look at former gang members. I started to look at fathers that didn't know how to love, moms that couldn't get over the pain that they was having. And I'm just having these conversations with them. I'm motivating them, speaking them, and I'm taking knowledge and different information I've learned, because I'm not one of those people that just get up and talk. Right. Like, I do research. So if we talking about community health, I've done research in that community on what's going on as it relates to health. So you take that information and you take that raw passion and you couple it, and then you end up freeing people. Like I've had meetings and events that felt like freedom on a spiritual level, like we sitting in the middle of a church and somebody's crying at the altar. It feel like that because these are things that are connected to them. And since they're connected to God, if it's blocking them or from their purposes, these moments need to happen. So that was kind of my thing. Like it kind of turned into something where you're walking in you're being honest about where you sit, you're being intentional about what you do, and you're becoming happier. Yeah. Like I woke up one day, and full transparency, I woke up one day and I smiled getting out of the bed. And I was like, what is going on here? I got up and I was happy. And I immediately, because I'm so inquisitive, I'm like, why? Why am I? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? I'm just walking in what I'm supposed to be doing. That's how you know. Yeah. So before we go to the break, when we get back, I want to unpack because I'm definitely a proponent of process. There's protection in process. There's provision in process. So I really want to unpack that when we get back after the break.
So we're going to play your video, The Young Black Boy.
Let's get it.
And there's something about this poem. It never gets old.
Thank you.
It's never going to get old as long as you have a black boy in creation. Now, you said little black boy. It could be the physically little black boy, or it could be the big physic black boy with a little mind. And it could be every black boy who is considered little, but which your poem addresses as someone to see himself and to know that there's hope, and to remember this is how the society sees you, and this is how I see you, and these are your prospects. Come on. Let's have a feel of it, and Tuwan is going to talk about it when we come back.
Young black boy, I need to speak to you. I wrote this for the Trayvon you, the Emmett and Till, the Jesters and the Kings for real. Young black boy, the world is against you. It starts at home, right? Fathers absent of the throne, right? Copying the dope boys and their agendas when they're at home suffering from the same dilemma. We just want to be loved, right? Fathers hugging sons is considered weak, but it's the culture for a father to hold his son as he bleeds into the streets. The trap been trapping us for so long. I say the trap been trapping us for so long. Trauma familiar, so it's a revelation when we realize our demonstrations have been wrong. I used to be just like you. Tell, honestly, if I was your age, I'd probably try to fight you. See, you was a threat to me because you could probably be happy. See, that wasn't fair to me. See, you probably came from a family that could afford therapy, a family that sung songs together. And you probably had friends that could call their father whenever they wanted. Me and my friends cried on silent nights during Christmas time, wondering why Pops didn't want us. And I never wanted to be a player or a pimp. But broken hearts beat differently, so acts of love attuned to the frequency of a simp. See, I had to be tough. Because without money, queens told me I'm not enough. But with money, I had no idea who I could trust. The first time I seen men close was in jail doing rec, and that's because it was cold outside. And even that went against everything I told myself to survive. I did the breaking and entering, breaking into homes too afraid to enter myself. Ran up a bag illegally and still didn't understand wealth. See, young king, all of this is on purpose. Young king, all of this is on purpose. On purpose. Yo, what do you think your purpose is? Are you still allowing death to define if you're allowed to live? We still sagging pants to copy those who left us in debt. We still idolizing sets that take away from us, knowing we live in check to check. We in hood shooting each other, surprised that those that enslaved us don't love us. How can they set examples when we was unsure if we'd even want us? If it's your purpose to march to those new safe spaces, why would they create them for us when we don't do that for us with similar faces? See, black boy, I decree your heaven sent. Divine skin browns the flames of prophecy, melanated in excellence. You're here to break generational curses. Every time you change the world, know that you're only scratching the surface. I believe in you, and I need you to believe in yourself. Since your capacity for greatness was established before Orion's belt, pull your pants up, king. You ever walk designated just for you? Not a hater, a statistic, or a bad relationship can wear your shoes. Black boy, you're the next source of motivation. I prophesy you'll pick properties like your ancestors picked cotton on plantations. See, I see you. And so does everyone else. And if they could get you to put your greatness on a shelf, they would. But you won't. Because you're not designed to quit. It's something that can only happen because you exist. It's a son that would never miss his father because you'll be around. It's a young thug who will meet a Rico before sentencing that will have him put the guns down. It's a young woman who needs you to guide her in love. Who you become will create more realities for the hoods that you love. And I wrote this for the Trayvon in you, the Emmett Till, the Jesters, and the Kings for real. Young black boy, the world is against you, and it's only because they see you. And you're beautiful for real. So the poem Young Black Boy was written for two types of individuals. The youth that's around you and the youth that exists inside of you. Young Black Boy is permission to take your trauma, those experiences, instead of just equating them to life, equating them to the places you want to be, to the freedom that you need to experience. So if I had to describe this to you, I would say it's an opportunity to tap into something deeper and to escape the shallow that you've normalized in your existence.
Take a Selah moment, right? Mm-hmm. Let's sit in that for a moment. Yep. Okay. So, Mr. Spencer.
Yes, ma'am.
As it pertains, you can incorporate process in these next questions, right? For the sake of time, so we're not breaking them up. Yep. Give us a play-by-play of the poem. Like, what was going on in your life? Where was your head space? Where was your heart space? Where was your soul space? Like, what was going on in real time at the time when you sat down to pen this piece?
So what I heard when you was asking the question that I need to share is when you heal, you'll know, because it'll feel like a responsibility to assist in others healing from the same thing. Mm-hmm. So Young Black Boy was me, was communities that I grew up in, was friends that I've lost, was people that I did time with in my youth. It was everything that was happening. And so I was able to kind of tap in to the essence of what that feels because I was there. Mm-hmm. And this is, even to the process point, that was kind of the part that it refers to. It's like, now that you've been through it, you understand it a little bit more. And I think the difference between me and a lot of people, earlier I referenced execution, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people get to that point, but that's where execution stops. So let's say maybe they do the work to try to heal. All right, well, I'm good. And to me, being good it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Like, I go out here and I look at young Black boys' faces and talk to them in real time almost every day. Every day I'm influencing someone. And they're saying the same things that I said at that point. So the process was, hey, man, very much so like you survived something, a plane crash, a car wreck. Like you have a different level of understanding. And if it's something I can do to get them to understand when things about to crash before you crash out, that's what it was. And a lot of, just like the books speaking, these are my diary entries.
Yeah.
This is almost like the confirmation of, okay, I'm ready. Yeah. I'm good.
Or your expression of gratitude, right? For making it out on the other side and paying it forward.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So where are you in the poem? So there's one particular line that every time I listen to the poem, it sticks out to me because kingship is important. And in that line, you say, I decree. And only kings have the authority to decree. So can you speak to kingship and that perspective, and you can take it from there?
Man, look at Pete catching stuff.
No, wait. Before you answer, let me tell you why, though. Let me give you context. So, you know, Logan, my son is 2. I never call Logan a prince. And people who would call my son a prince, I say he's not a prince. Because as a prince, you have to wait until the king dies to receive your inheritance. And so I said, no, sir, not here. This is a young king. So I definitely am very clear. Okay?
Yeah, no.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, man. You know, black boy, I decree you heaven sent.
Yeah.
You know, and the next line I start talking about skin being bronze and that melatonin, being an example of that. And so, like, this is how it's always been for me. And society tries to show you the opposite. I don't need other people to validate or give me permission to walk into royalty.
Yeah.
And I think even when I was doing things, because let's be real, you can be king, you can have kingship, and still operate like a jester.
Absolutely.
So I wasn't aligned. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, how you going to sit here and talk to these young men about who they can be without being in alignment yourself? I'm not talking to, like you said, to your point, I'm not talking to princes. I'm talking to other kings responsible for other kingdoms in service to a kingdom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to talk to people like where they are. And one of the things that I realized and that I received when I was growing up is people didn't always talk to me like who I was. They talk to you like who they want you to be. And whenever you fall short to that, you're a failure.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let me be somebody who's figuring out how to walk in what's already purpose to me. In my mind, I thought about a little boy sitting in a giant throne room.
Yeah.
Maybe he's Logan's size. Chair is too big for him, but he's still responsible for it.
Yeah.
And I only say that to remind people there's a process of growing into the king you're supposed to be. Absolutely. But it doesn't change that you are a king still.
Absolutely.
And that was kind of the thing. It was like the stuff he was doing bothered you because it's not in alignment with your kingship. You ain't gonna never be comfortable. We would be out fighting or doing whatever it was when I was young. And while we're doing it, I would be like, man, I'm bigger than this. Like this ain't. But there's habit. There's trauma that kind of reinforces. So that was the whole point of that line, and just everything that I do moving forward. It's just reminding people I'm not making you anything.
Yeah.
I'm just reminding you of what you are.
Absolutely. I love the part. Let's tie it, you know me. Let's tie it to David, right?
Okay.
Because David was anointed to be king many years before he took the throne. And it was the process that he had to go through before he could even operate in his kingship. And so that just speaks back to the importance of process. Do not abandon, abort prematurely in process, because it's so important. And even once David took his seat in kingship, there were still some things that he had to work out, even though he did process, right? And we know David was a wild boy, but what was he called? A man after God's own heart. You know, so in that, just be true to who you are and who you've been called to be and the image in which you've been made after and in, which is God. Yeah, I don't want to go on a tangent. So
let me take you to I mean,
I was about to go.
It simply supports everything it's saying, and that's why I had to listen, because there's a link between what is said and what you're saying. It's like putting a cap on what is saying. And it also takes me to the heart, the soul of this poem. From the moment you started to the end, it's almost impossible, regardless whether you're a black boy or white boy or whatever, not to listen from beginning to the other, to the end. Now let me take you to that moment when you penned this poem. What triggered that feeling? It must, for you to sit down and write from A to Z, there must have been a trigger, something, that moment. Can you describe that moment when you wrote this poem? What was that thing that made you put that pen on paper and run through?
So I'm gonna be, and I've never told anybody this. So meow. This is exclusive. I've never told anybody this. Young Black Boy started early, paused it, and then came back and finished it. And the reason was, when I started this poem, I was like, okay, I'm done with some of this stuff, and I was writing freedom. That's what it was. So even when I hear people talk about the power of the poem and how it'll live forever, it's hard for me to process that, because in that moment I was penning freedom. It was stuff that I was like, and I believe in the power of writing stuff down. And it was like, man, I'm not going to be some of these things, and I'm going to speak to that. So I stopped after a while, because I was still going through what people was talking about, my process. When I picked it back up, I was actually at Max Hayes High School, and I was talking to some teens there. And just for the purpose of kind of fast forwarding the story, there was a young boy that I was talking to there, and he literally had my entire story, everything that I've done, the gang affiliation, the need and love, not knowing how to talk. He was a carbon copy of I told him the only thing different between us is you are yellow, and I've never been that shade. That was the only difference between us. And the whole time I'm talking, I'm looking at this guy, and he's making eye contact with me, but he's not saying nothing. And I'm like, in every way, he reminds me of me, the guy that's observant, that's not saying stuff, but you could tell he's soaking it in and he's feeling it. And I went to him, and he started crying. He started crying. And I said, hey, man, like, I seen him still trying to be tough when he was crying. And, I give him a hug, and we talking some. He like, everything that you talking about, you came from, is where I'm at right now. And that was the moment where Young Black Boy was able to be finished. Now I understand in kingship why I'm able to decree the change. The pain, the process, the situations, the adversity solidified a mantle that was already given to me. And now I'm seeing it in person. So why I've never told anybody that, and why that's so significant to me, is because Young Black Boy poem life was mine. There was a part where I was in it trying to figure it out, and I had to navigate that. I had to learn to speak life. I had to learn to destroy habits and remove myself from people. And then later on, now I can decree different things, because now I'm moving that way. Now I get to see why it's a reason why I have to run this kingdom a certain way, why I have to move away, why I can't hang my head down with the crown on it. And you get to see all of this stuff happen in real time, so much so to where I just told one of my cousins, Young Black Boy will definitely have a third part to it. And I'm only calling that 1 and 2 because of the timeline of it, but it'll be another part, because the journey that I'm on now, much like David, is now I'm responsible for how I manage a kingdom. And in my kingdom, there's other kings. So, yeah, it was a great question.
We've been talking with Tuwan Spencer, a man of many parts, shedding light on the topic that, addresses living beyond one talent. Today, we're highlighting Tuwan Spencer and poetry, the man who did the poem Young Black Boy. For those who are just joining in, especially Weird MC from London.
What's going on?
From London, we thank you for joining us. This is the poem once again. It never gets old. I'm going to flash it once again before we say goodbye. Good evening, Weird MC. And since you're just joining us, please check out this poem by Tuwan Spencer. Would like your comments. And you can also call us on WhatsApp with the number on the screen. Here it is again.
Young black boy, I need to speak to you. I wrote this for the Trayvon in you, the Emmett and Till, the jesters and the kings for real. Young black boy, the world is against you. It starts at home, right? Fathers absent of the throne, right? Copying the dope boys and their agendas when they're at home suffering from the same dilemma. We just want to be loved, right? Fathers hugging sons is considered weak, but it's the culture for a father to hold his son as he bleeds into the streets. The trap been trapping us for so long. I say the trap been trapping us for so long. Trauma familiar, so it's a revelation when we realize our demonstrations have been wrong. I used to be just like you. Hell, honestly, if I was your age, I'd probably try to fight you. See, you was a threat to me because you could probably be happy. See, that wasn't fair to me. See, you probably came from a family that could afford therapy, a family that sung songs together. And you probably had friends that could call their father whenever they wanted. Me and my friends cried on silent nights during Christmas time, wondering why Pops didn't want us. And I never wanted to be a player or a pimp, but broken hearts beat differently, so acts of love attuned to the frequency of a simp. See, I had to be tough. Because without money, queens told me I'm not enough. But with money, I had no idea who I could trust. The first time I seen men close was in jail doing rec, and that's because it was cold outside. And even that went against everything I told myself to survive. I did the breaking and entering, breaking into homes too afraid to enter myself. Ran up a bag illegally and still didn't understand wealth. See, young king, all of this is on purpose. Young king, all of this is on purpose. On purpose. Yo, what do you think your purpose is? Are you still allowing death to define if you're allowed to live? We still sagging pants to copy those who left us in debt. We still idolizing sets that take away from us, knowing we live in check to check. We in hood shooting each other, surprised that those that enslaved us don't love us. How can they set examples when we was unsure if we'd even want us? If it's your purpose to marshal those new safe spaces, why would they create them for us when we don't do that for us with similar faces? See, black boy, I decree your heaven sent. Divine skin browns the flames of prophecy, melanated in excellence. You're here to break generational curses. Every time you change the world, know that you're only scratching the surface. I believe in you, and I need you to believe in yourself. Since your capacity for greatness was established before Orion's belt, pull your pants up, king. You ever walk designated just for you? Not a hater, a statistic, or a bad relationship can wear your shoes. Black boy, you're the next source of motivation. I prophesy you'll pick properties like your ancestors picked cotton on plantations. See, I see you. And so does everyone else. And if they could get you to put your greatness on a shelf, they would. But you won't. Because you're not designed to quit. It's something that can only happen because you exist. It's a son that would never miss his father because you'll be around. It's a young thug who will meet a Rico before sentencing that will have him put the guns down. It's a young woman who needs you to guide her in love. Who you become will create more realities for the hoods that you love. And I wrote this for the Trayvon in you, the Emmett Till, the jesters and the kings for real. Young black boy, the world is against you. And it's only because they see you. And you're beautiful for real.
And don't forget, young black boy, the world is against you. That part of the poem is my climax. The world is against you. And what do you say after that?
And it's only because they see you. And you're beautiful for real.
That's it. Young black boy, the world is against you. And that's because they see you. And what?
And you're beautiful for real.
And you're beautiful for real. Now, those are my final words on the show today. But I want to say in 45 seconds, Tuwan, based on the 360 degree of your experience through life up until now, what, in your opinion, can an average young Black boy do, or how can they live beyond one talent to become the kind of person that you are today, which is a gift to the world?
Well, thank you for saying that. I would say that black sheep energy you feel. You don't fit in. You feel different. You don't see stuff the way that your environment tells you to. You have a problem with that. Your friends don't always understand where you sit or the direction that you're going in. And sometimes you'll be tempted to try to fit in because it's uncomfortable standing out. What I would tell you is that's where your power lies at. So I'm not going to tell you to just do something because it sounds cool, but I would position that young boy to think like this. What if your next level of greatness is directly tied to your inability, your ability to not be okay with disconnecting from certain things in your life? So you got to decide in that moment, hey, I'm going to be okay with being different. When I said me being a black sheep was the best thing that ever happened to me, life changed. I'm not supposed to think like what my environments talk like. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to move and maneuver how they do. So, young black boy, I would tell you that difference in you is not just what sets you apart, but what equips you for leadership. This is why you're going to be able to do what you do. So be grateful for that, cultivate that, love that, and walk in it. Because here's the reality. There's a bunch of people around you that's just waiting for a reason to do what's in you.
Born to write, born to speak, born to sing, born to lead, born to motivate, born to mentor, born to be a gift to the world, born to express himself beyond one talent.
Yeah.
Today, it's been a huge pleasure and blessing having Tuwan Spencer as our guest on the show to break down his poem and to give us more gifts from the totality of gifts that creation has given him. We want to thank you on the show, Tuwan, for coming.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to having you again.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell our friend Mary Louise Tatum, we miss you on the show today. I'm going to tell her that hopefully the next time we have you, she will be on my seat to anchor the show with Penelope to drill you again. Get ready.
Come on, Miss Barry. Come on.
We've been asking a world of questions on the show today. And I can say this, it's been a long time since we shot beyond our 45 minutes on the show. It's exactly 1 hour on all these things today. It's been irresistibly long and interesting. It's tempting to go into 2 hours. We wouldn't regret that. But then I have to say a very huge thank you to you for being a blessing on the show today.
Yeah.
Penelope, your final words.
In my final words, I would say to the young black boy who is hurting, to the young black boy who has been abandoned, to the young black boy who just doesn't feel safe enough to take up space in who and what you've been called. Take that space with authority. Take that space uncertain. Do it afraid.
That's good.
And I promise you, God will meet you in that space of uncertainty. Until next time.
I want to say a very quick thank you to Olariwaju Scott, or Jayomi, my number one fan, my wife. She was the first to join the show today.
Hey, Patricia.
Hey, Patricia.
Kiss
also,
that baby.
I know. You got to come.
That Papa T didn't tell me about it. Did he tell you that?
Oh, man. It's funny how we wash our dirty linens in public, even with Penelope.
On camera. It's crazy.
Yeah, we always do that on the show. Come on. You better come to the house and kiss the baby yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, but thank you for that. To Trey, we say thank you. To Lauren. Lauren, thank you for joining. Timbuktu.
Thank you.
Tiara, thanks for joining. Gabe Meister, all the way from London. Thanks for joining us. Timbuktu, thank you so much for your comment on the show. Don Collins. Who else? Agbalumo Tunes. Stoop Kid Soul. We appreciate your presence. Sassy Jesse B. Erock Beats, thanks for joining us. Weird MC, all the way from London. 0000009, all the way from Birmingham. Thanks for joining, and thanks for showing your perspective too on the show. My name is Oluwatoyin Ojayami, the one you know as Papa T. Say until we see you next week, be with you next week. It's peace, love, and blessings. Have a splendid weekend. And of course, a great week ahead. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
See ya.